crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people. Green people, crab people, blue heavy metal people.
The scenario being played today is the 2015 Incursion. This one has no kill box. There are 3 flags. Each one can be either controlled or dominated for 1 point, and the first one to 5 points wins. Alright, so here we are with another War Machine Wednesday, and on this side here, we have Philip with his Cygnar, and he's going with Nemo2. And on the other side here, we have Michael with his Convergence, and this is an Aurora list. Technically, the Nemo one is a tier 1 list, but you're not really getting anything from it. The Aurora player here is not in tier, and so one of the things you're going to see is there's only going to be, actually not see, there's going to be 2 units of the Angels, the Clockwork Angels. They're going to be streaming up the flank, so I'm going to be explaining what's going on there. But really what happened with this is that with the initiative, it turned out so that the Convergence is going first. The Cygnar want to pick the right side because there's that double trench going on. And what's going on is basically right now all of Convergence just surging forward. There are 2 units of these medium infantry that want to get up there and get a shield wall and really want to get onto these objectives. And as far as the scenario goes, I think they kind of have the advantage. The storm wall can come down and lock one down, but it's really going to have to dedicate somewhere, and then otherwise the water at the top I think is going to be very restrictive. So what's happening now is he had put admonition onto the monitor, and we're on to now Cygnar turn 1, and with that he is going to be allocating 1 to each of the regular heavy jacks. They're going to be coming up here. The one Stormclad tried taking a shot, but range 8 just really isn't that far. Junior goes and puts Arcane Shield up onto the Storm Wall. Otherwise, Nemo's going to go now and put on the spell onto Dynamo so that he gets +2 armor and doesn't suffer the crippled systems. Now, Stormwall is going to come up here, and he wanted to try and shoot these Angels, but this is where we kind of talk about how the forest blocks line of sight. It's really weird, you know. You can always see a Colossal because they're super big, but they can't see you. It's one of those rules you have to remember, you see up but not down. So with that, he really doesn't get too much done. He wasn't even in range to get in the one pod, so he really puts down the cover fire as best he can. One of the Stormcallers that he has a elite cadre with Nemo2, so they're skill 9, POW 12, which is pretty good. So they zap down one of the Angels, and otherwise everything is kind of like chilling back in the trench. So now here we go, it's on to Convergence turn 2. Of course, their field marshal thing is they all get admonition, so that's those little extra movements you saw before. The Angels on either flank are going to be kind of zipping up, kind of just doing a combined shot. The bottom 2 trying to kill that Stormcaller and missing, and the ones at the top, I think they did like 1 damage to a Stormclad or something like that. Nothing too serious. They're really just trying to get around to Nemo. Aurora, of course, with her feet, gets to go up and refuge right to you, but she's not really that deadly unless you get a Clockwork Angel there, so that she's +2 to hit and an extra dice of damage. Otherwise, what you're seeing here is that the medium infantry, which are able to go through like Pathfinder because of a spell from Aurora, they just shield wall and go up onto each of the outer flags, so that's a pretty powerful lockdown for the outside flags. Otherwise, he came up here with his other jacks and kind of missed with both, not really doing anything there. Corollary doing its thing, collecting up its focus, sharing it around. He also has these little servitors here that he's going to be wanting to use to try and flare Nemo. Because again, those are not just against shots, they're against melee and everything. These other small infantry that are the spray ones, normally they're used for clearing out infantry, but in this position here, they're really just trying to get in the way. Right now he's in position to score off all 3 flags, and he just wants to try and keep Cygnar back. So now we're on to Cygnar turn 2. This is where he's going to need to get up there and contest these flags and kind of try and find a way to kill these guys too. Now, he actually allocates nothing to any of the jacks, but Nemo2 is going to be popping his feet, which automatically allocates 3 to each of the jacks. So that's always a nice thing to have happen. He also goes and he does Energizer for 2, which lets some guys move up. He's going to start casting some spells and shooting to kill a little bit of the infantry in the way. You always got to remember that casters like that have a gun, and you want to get the most use of it. Even Junior gets up here and gets some work done, mainly because the Silver Line that he decided to take, they have ranked attacks, so you can just see right through them. Otherwise, the Stormclad is going to go up, and even though it seems like he's really far out of the way, with Electro Leaps and so forth, he kills all 3 Clockwork Angels. And that's actually really huge. So all 3 of those up there are dead. Now the Silver Line, they're going to go in there and charge. Most of their stuff going on to just these regular cleansers, or whatever they're called. But some of them will be combining into one of the medium infantry at the top, doing like 3 points of damage, something like that. Just kind of really getting things started. But the more important thing is that after these guys hit, the leader gets to shoot. And so he shot that shot at the monitor there. This is going to be happening right now, and that doesn't do any damage, but now, past this, any electrical damage that goes after it is going to get +2 damage. So things like Dynamo, which was already going to be very scary, just gets scarier. So that's what Dynamo is doing now. He aimed, he's starting to shoot, and he's going to do a crap ton of damage to this monitor. I believe he leaves it like on 2 boxes or something, so that monitor's really messed up. The Stormwall comes up now to try and finish it off. First puts out a pod to kill one of the angels, and then otherwise takes one shot that's going to do some damage to one of the bottom infantry guys, and then takes one shot at the monitor, which is actually going to roll poorly and do no damage. So something he probably should have done is just face the Stormwall at the monitor, because you can't guarantee. I mean, take both shots on it, make sure that Jack goes down. Otherwise, the Stormcaller at the bottom is going to go and zap the last angel, so there's no Clockwork Angels now. The other Stormcallers zap random things, and now it is on to Convergence. So nothing was scored on, everything is contested. The bottom flag is being contested by actually an earlier pod. You got to remember, those pods from the Stormwall, they don't score, but they can contest. So looking at this, he can really start cleaning up, especially at the top there. He could probably kill off like all those infantry. The Stormclad's really far out, but the problem is going to be that Stormwall. So we're starting to look at the attrition-wise. The attrition probably isn't going to go that well, because even though you have these shield wall guys, yeah, that Stormwall just smashes right through them, and that's not great. So either way, he's going to start things off here with his servitors, and they're going to start shooting the Storm Guard just to make it so that those things are getting +2 to hit. Now the infantry's going to come up, they're going to shield wall, and they're just going to crush these guys. They hit almost automatically. It's something like effectively mat 9, like 3's to hit type thing, right? And if you hit, they're auto dead because they're POW 14s. So they go and they kill off a good number of the guys up at the top there. These bottom ones actually making a charge on the Stormwall. It's something where, you know what, this is going to be your best chance to do some damage, might as well go for it, but the dice really weren't there. Again, POW 14s, even in that weapon mode, still means that an armor 22, you're -8, so you're not going to do that much damage, and they didn't. So looking at this now, Michael is kind of realizing that things aren't the greatest, and so scenario might be his best. Right now, Nemo's back there, but she can easily get there. He's only camping 1, so, you know, it's not the greatest. You know, he needs 8s to hit. I think he's going to be at dice -5 for damage, so not the greatest thing. He tried scattering here with one of his other flare servitors just to try and mark him for that +2 to hit. Didn't get the scatter he needed, just kind of a long bomb there. But now Aurora is going to have to go for it, and it is going to be tough. I mean, she's needing a boost to hit, boost damage, and really when you do the math for it, she can get pretty damn close, but if she fails, it's really that last focus that she just has to hard go for it. So after talking it out, trying to theorize where this game is going to go, like we said, we're probably at the top, he's going to clean up, but at the bottom, things are going to really fall apart, and he just can't really deal with that Stormwall. By the way, he tried to fix the monitor and failed, so that didn't really help either. He had planned to shoot the monitor at Nemo first, but didn't work out. So in comes Aurora. She's going to pop her feet, boost a hit, boost damage, does like 8 damage, which was great to start. Flashing Blade also kills off like Junior and the Squire as well. Second attack does a little bit more, and so for the last one, she's needing to roll an 8 to hit, 8 damage with no boost, and she connects it for the win. So Aurora just pulled off the feat assassination. What are you guys' thoughts on the game?
I was getting a little bit worried because of the electrical damage that was potentially happening. The assassination run was sort of a Hail Mary because I was a bit worried and I didn't have any angels left, but it was sort of 50-50, and I thought that even if it failed, I still had some souls I could bring back that I'd be able to interfere with his ability to get back to Aurora, so hopefully she'd survive a turn even if she did fail.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to remember what everything did, unit-wise, but I found go on the defensive really fast, I guess. It was kind of hit or miss on whether to use range or melee, because the shield wall guys had such high armor and such like a good amount of life boxes, and set defense. They're very, very good at taking a charge, definitely. Yeah, I was really hoping to blow him up on the feet turn. If he hadn't have made it, I was probably hoping to punch out this guy and then get Dynamo on her, or possibly fully load him, bring him as close as I could, and then take a boosted shot into the combat, try and get her, because he's immune to electricity.
Right.
So I guess I could have even just shot him. And that was pretty much it there, I guess. Other than that, it would just be triangulate, drop a pod, and then triangulate 3 times and try to get her with auto hits. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt you had to go for the assassination now, because even though you're starting to clean up there, this was probably going to go really bad really fast.
This would have been just buying attacks, like load them up with 3 and then just swing.
Because he basically has Thresher innately, right? The Colossals do? Or
well, they can do it as a power attack. Yeah, they could totally do that, and that would hurt.
Or I guess you could just punch too, because it's POW 20s, and then he's electro leaping every time he punches. So
Right. Yeah.
All right, guys.
I don't think I'd faced the Colossal before, or sorry, I haven't faced the Stormwall before or Nemo, so it was interesting.
Yeah, he can do a lot of damage with all the lightning things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pods were good. They didn't reach as far as I thought they were going to. I had grand designs about reaching way into the back, triangulating on everybody. And they do have a 20-inch range between them, but the only limitation is he's only can launch the Nemo2.
Yeah.
So you end up having a whole bunch of horizontal ones and nothing that really strikes too deep into the back.
I mean, you can always get things started, like when you have more than one Stormcaller, one Stormcaller can run out and start that triangle.
And then I guess it's like, you gotta shoot me, you gotta kill me, otherwise I'm gonna start zapping guys.
Yeah,
which is fair, Yeah, no, very fun though.
All right, well, thanks for playing and thanks for watching. Bye.